Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Daily Live Extra. It is a Wednesday, the 4th of August, and it's another warm day outside. It's lovely outside. It's roasting in the studio, but there you go. We are talking about Moise Kean to stay, which is what Fabrizio Romano said yesterday on a Twitch stream, apparently. Said that Rafa Benitez wants to keep the young Everton striker at the club. And so, from there, we will see what happens. It's easy to say when there's been no bids for him. Of course it is. And I guess you can look at it one or two ways. One way is Rafa Benitez does want to keep Moise Kean. He's seen potential. He can see goals in him. We need another striker. We've only got Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the club and Richarlison. And the other way to look at it is to say that it's Rafa Benitez posturing and saying we're not going to sell him cheaply. And from that, if you want to buy him, you're going to have to pay for it. So either way, in my opinion, it's one of those two options. Moise Kean has got potential. There's no question about that. Has he shown it for Everton? No. But he did show it on loan at PSG last year. So it's about whether Everton can recreate those conditions for him. Obviously, we haven't got Kylian Mbappe. We haven't got Neymar. We haven't got Di Maria. We're playing in a much tougher league. But it's up to him as well. He's got to work hard, get his head down, and show that he belongs in the Premier League. He came here to play in the Premier League, and he's not really done anything since coming. So there's a large emphasis on him as well. I think Everton obviously were banking on selling him to do the majority of our business. That hasn't happened. And the frustration in that is that we're seeing other targets of ours going to other clubs. Leon Bailey being the most recent one who was being confirmed. He's joined Aston Villa today, which is dagger in my heart. But yeah, disappointing, obviously. But if you haven't got the money to do what you need to do, there's nothing you can do. You have to look around for the next one. So Everton either go with what they've got and see where it gets them, or they will continue to try to offload players over the next 3.5 weeks and see what's what. So you'd like to think that they're ready to go. The minute there's a bit of a gap in the budget, they're going to be ready to exploit that. That's how we have to believe is going to be the way. That might be James Rodriguez going out. It might be PSG coming back in for Moise Kean. It could be Benfica coming in for Andre Gomez. It could be anyone coming in for Fabian Delph. So that's how Everton are going to have to look at it over these next 3.5 weeks. But what can you do? Glenn Watson says first. Tazul says afternoon. Thomas Peckham says afternoon, Baz. Hope Ned isn't locked out again. No, Ned and Ped have just done the podcast, so that's why we're a little bit later today. James Dunlop says afternoon, Baz. Ryan Lockley, hi Baz. Haven't a clue what to believe with all these rumours. No, the best thing to do, mate, is not to believe any of them. Really. Ignore all the ITKs on Twitter and see what happens when the club make a statement, because we're just getting all sorts of rumours getting bounced here, there and everywhere. So who knows? I mean, we've seen today, Romelu Lukaku's agreed terms with Chelsea. And as a result of that, Inter Milan are going to buy Moise Kean. Could happen. Could well happen. Chelsea do want Lukaku. Do Inter want Moise Kean? Don't know. Would Everton sell him? Of course they would. And then obviously if that happened quite quickly, then Everton would have a pot of money then to go, yeah, we want him and him. And maybe that's what they're waiting for. But Moise Kean goes out the door, we've still got to bring another striker in as well, haven't we? So we'll have to see what happens there. Mr. H88 says, afternoon, lads. Oh, we should We show some bottling this transfer window, explore other markets and don't settle for names for big dollar. Get the unknowns and double up. That's probably what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to move away. Certainly speaking to John last night on the Peyton FFP show, it is, when you actually stop and think about it, it is quite depressing, the situation Everton are in. The losses that we continue to rack up. And it's easy for people on social media platforms to say, not my money, I'm not asked, why are you bothered when we're spending money? But the reality is, that attitude has put us where we are now, because we haven't been bothered with some of the fees and some of the wages. And quite simply, until Everton can almost, because I can't say guarantee, but almost assure that we are playing in European football every year, Champions League or winning trophies or whatever, we can't pay people 200 grand a week like James Rodriguez. It's great for us as fans to get it, but if you're looking at it as the business, and this is not, we don't really want to look at it as a business, because we're football fans and it's all about fantasy and it's all about excitement and dreaming and all of that. But when you look at a football club's finances, and certainly the way the league is right now, we can't operate the way we've been operating, offering these players ridiculous wages. It can't happen. So I don't know. We have to look for the right players, look for players that aren't as much wage-wise, and go from there. And accept that we're gonna sell players every couple of seasons to keep sustaining it. And if we as fans can get our heads around that, then hopefully the pressure will drop a little bit on everything, and there won't be such a furore to go and offer these players silly money, chasing Real Madrid players and stuff on stupid wages. So yeah, that's how we're gonna have to do it at the moment. T Cannon says, afternoon. All hope everyone's doing well. Baz, but do you reckon it'd be a viable right back? Well, I still think Dumfries is still there. He's not gone anywhere, has he? So we know Everton like him. Jonathan McCulver said, do you know anything about George Sanchez? Well, Jorge Sanchez, George Sanchez, however you want to say it, it's just been in the Olympics with Mexico. Did very well. Everton have got an apparent interest in him. He's a right back. Plays in Mexico for Universal Club. So he could be another option. There might be there will be others who they're looking at as well. So I still think if Raiola drops his demands, then maybe Dumfries becomes a reality. At the minute, it's still stuck. And Everton are stuck because we need to clear more out of this, more out the club, basically. El Murphy's the FFP video coming to YouTube. Well, the one from last night won't be going on YouTube because it was a Q&A for patrons. Whether the other one that we did a couple of weeks ago, maybe that'll go onto YouTube soon, yeah. Kieran Brownbill says, hi, Baz, just popping a comment to tell everyone to like the video. Thanks, Kieran. Appreciate it. Mark G says, why is it being reported we've agreed terms with Nunes? Because we probably have agreed terms with Nunes, but if we haven't agreed terms with Sporting Lisbon, or we haven't agreed what the pay structure of the deal is, then it doesn't mean anything, does it? Everyone's reporting today Chelsea have agreed terms with Romelu Lukaku, but they haven't agreed terms with Inter Milan. So maybe that's what it's... Everton have watched Nunes for a while. Brand's watched them for a while. So whether it goes any further than that, I don't know. I don't know at this moment in time. It could do. It might not do. A lot of it's coming out of Portugal, isn't it? They seem to think that it will happen. Right now, it's not going to happen, as in the next hour. But who knows? Maybe there'll be a different pay structure or something, and it can happen. I don't know. Maybe Everton will walk away from it. Who knows? At this moment in time, we need to get players out the door, and I think that's being put everywhere. So, Keith Van Santi says yes. Keep Kean, another great young player. We need variety in all of our strikers. Dom is more of an aerial finisher. Kean can shoot from outside the box. Okay. Glenn says doesn't Ned have a key to the studio yet? No, not yet. Can't too much too soon. Giving Ned a key. Just that, you don't want to give him that much power and pressure. You know what? We can't trust him. Through the orifice says, hasn't he earned his key yet? No, not yet. Oh, sorry, it was T. Cannon. Through the orifice says, Moise seems to have a better attitude with us during the Florida Cup. Well, he's turned up and trained, hasn't he? So, and he's working hard, I believe. So that's what he's got to do. Even if he ends up going, that's what he should be doing as a professional. Z-Mode says, hi Baz, love the live streams. Can't wait for the new season, and I think Moise staying could be good if he has the right attitude. Yeah, listen, he's a young striker. We need another striker. I'm still not thinking that that's it, just because Benitez Romano has said he won't, Everton aren't going to let him go. Because I think if a money offer comes in, they'll probably let him go. So we'll see what happens. Still 3.5 weeks left yet, isn't it, of the window. Kevin Kraft, hello Baz, how are you, mate? I'm good, Kev, how are you? Mark G says, just play Richie, Dom, Kean as a front three. Richie and Dom track back, but Kean is built to run under deep balls. It's perfect. You couldn't play Dom wide right, though, could you? You can't be expecting your centre forward to track back deep. Mr. Dorf says, Baz, I'm with you on the Bailey thing. It hurts. Oh, well, I saved money on Everton and the Jamaica shirt with Bailey's name on it. Haha. Every positive. Go look at every positive, mate. Tom Gibbons says, Ajax are beating Leeds 2-0 after 8 minutes. Fair play. David Sullivan says, afternoon, Baz, I'm heading home from a holiday on Thierry in the Hebrides today. 2 days sail. Wow. And a drive to get home. Looking forward to my season ticket on the mat when I return. Come on, you Blues. It's right, David. Hope you've had a good holiday, mate. I am Milky Coffee says, so gutted about Bailey, Baz. Can only hope he isn't as good as we thought. Nam doesn't do well, so it doesn't hurt as much. Yeah, definitely. Mark G's gonna mourn Bailey for the next 5 years. He won't be a filler longer than 2 years. If he does well, Liverpool will get him. Tazul says, here into it after Moise Kean now. T. Hunter says, I might be the only one looking at the glass half full. If the squad remains as it is, we have a much better squad than last year. Great times and Kean, Gabam, not bad for a window with no money. Yeah, we are. We're stronger than we were last year on paper. We're better balanced anyway. It's whether or not that plays out on the pitch. In my opinion, we have a better manager, a manager better suited to this squad. So that could help us. We do have more balance. It's up to the players to do it, isn't it? Keith says, hey Baz, how are you feeling today? Tough day yesterday. Where there's James to AC Milan with Rafa Lau. Lukaku to Chelsea and Kean to Inter. Yeah, I seen all that yesterday, Keith. Don't know. Don't know is the real answer of all of that. Kean to Inter, possibly. But Rom's got to go to Chelsea first, hasn't he? Astro says, what, if any, are the things you'll be keeping an eye on with the friendly on Saturday, United? Shape, probably, Nick, to be honest with you. Want to see a little bit more shape. I want to see the attitude of the players. Are we working hard? Are we dropping back in? And a little bit more creativity. That's the thing. It'll be a good test. United are a good side. Probably Jadon Sancho will be playing, won't he? So we'll keep an eye on him. But it'll be a good test. It'll be a good bar of where we are ahead of the Southampton game next week. So it's difficult to take anything out of friendlies, but it's all about shape now. And are they getting the managers' instructions? Are they able to carry them out? That's what I'll be looking for. Keith says, what do you think? City 100 million for Grealish. Is that mental, or are we going even worse to say 130 million for Kean too? Oh, by the way, if no Dumfries, then I'd offer United to bring Dalot in on loan with an option to buy. What do you think? They won't have to move house. Yeah, Grealish apparently is on his way to City today, isn't he? 100 million is mad, in my opinion. He's absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong, but that's about 30 million too much, in my opinion. But that's what Villa says worth, and City want to pay it, fine. Kane, 130 million's mad. But the thing with City is they got to the Champions League final, so they got a big pot of money. They won the league, so they got a big pot of money. And they'll probably sell a couple of their players and recoup 50, 60, 70 million of that. So that's why they'll do it. In terms of Dalot, yeah, Dalot's a great option. Young, physical. Like you say, only, does not really have to move. Blue Peter's gone with Dalot as well with an option to buy. Alex Kenner, no, nothing at this moment. Scott Pearson says, hello, Baz. Gerren says, what do you think about Jed Spence? Yeah, loads of potential, but I don't know whether he's the right person, because he's really played in the Championship, hasn't he? So, but you just have to see whatever happens. If Everton get him, you back him, don't you? So we'll see. Where are we? Wormy Spoons says, our wage bill is half Man U's. How can you become competitive over a season when you have wage issues, but teams have double your wage bill? But that's the problem, isn't it, with FFP and with P&L? That is the issue. We had, like I've said before, every one of our patrons will have watched the John Blaine question and answer last night, nearly 2 hours long. And we talked about it in that. And while you can turn around and say, and I've seen this be said, everyone's playing by the same rules in the Premier League, because they've all got to be, can only have these losses. It's not the same rules, is it? Because it's not the same rules if Manchester United and Liverpool can bring in £500 million, say, in sponsorship deals and I'm just giving examples here. These aren't real numbers, but I'm just saying. And yet Everton can only bring in 60 million in sponsorships. But we can all only lose the same amount of money. Well, yeah, sound. But their wage bill can be twice as big as ours, as United's is, and Liverpool's is. So how is that fair? How are we kept on the same level as them when they're allowed they're protected by the league? So everyone gives them more money. They're on telly more than anyone else, so everyone gives them more money. And yet, we can only lose the same as them. We can't put money in to try to counteract their huge sponsorship deals because they've been allowed and been protected at the top end of the thing. Yes, they've done well as well, of course. They have to stay there, but it's not the same, is it? And then you probably have Brentford fans going, well, we don't have the commercial power, excuse me, of Everton. No. But ironically, Brentford could spend more this season than Everton because they've only just come up, and it'd be year one in the Premier League. So they could actually spend 100-odd million, even though they don't get, crowds like we do or not established or whatever. So it's a flawed system. It needs changing. It won't change quick enough for this transfer window. But it is flawed. It's massively flawed. If your owners can't invest their money to make the business stronger. That being said, Everton are in trouble because of poor recruitment, poor decisions, poor commercial performance. And also, I guess, not raising ticket prices, I guess, as well. But the other things are worse than the not raising ticket prices, in my opinion. Poor recruitment by not buying players who you knew you needed, who fitted into a structure, who you had a plan for, is what's hammered us more than anything else, really. So, yeah. Paul McCluskey says, afternoon, Baz, new patron subscriber. Great content. Got a feeling we will sign a few players to bolster the squad. Can't wait for the new season. to start. Is right, Paul. Nice one for becoming a patron. Listen, all I'm saying, right, is that at this moment, Everton are not in great financial position where the P&L sustainability rules are. Everton may choose, I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen Everton's spreadsheet, so I have no idea, right? But Everton may choose to spend a bit more money and go, well, you know what, we've already failed, so we may as well fail by a little bit more. Doesn't seem like they're going to do that because a couple of the targets have gone elsewhere, but they may do. I don't know. We won't know till the 1st of September. But right now, and listening to all the noise around and listening to things, you know, regarding James Rodriguez, listening to what Rafa Benitez has said himself, you have to take that at face value. If Everton move James Rodriguez out and save nearly 200 grand a week on his wages, there's 10 million. Say Everton sold him for 10 million. Then there's a kick of 20 million pound straight away back into the budget. And now that 20 million can be amortised. So you could actually then, from that money, go and spend 40 million on that. So Everton might be better at, and this is probably what Rafa Benitez is looking at, going, well, if he went, because he's not going to play every week, and that gives us 30 or 40 million pound back in the budget, I can go and buy Denzel Dumfries, and I can go and buy another player, Mathew, Nunes, or another winger, or a centre forward, or whatever. And that is how you look at it. And then if Everton can top that up by getting rid of Gomez and Delph and Kenny, then all of a sudden, you know, someone might come in for Mason Holgate, someone might come in for Tom Davies, and Everton go, yeah, we'll sell you because we want to reinvest that. Then all of a sudden, those last 10 days of the window, Everton have got money to play with and targets to go after. But it's easy for me to sit here and go, I'd sell Gomez, and I'd sell Delph, and I'd sell Kenny, and I'd sell Kean, and I'd sell Iwobi, because it means nothing if someone isn't at the other end of the phone offering me money for those players. So everyone's stamping the feet going, just do this and just sell him and just sell him. It won't make any difference. If teams don't want them, there's nothing you can do about it. And the one I'd seen, and I haven't seen it luckily today, but I'd seen yesterday, just sell Richarlison and Dom. For what? For what end? Sell Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So sell all of the goals out the team. To do what with? So you have to think about this. If this was June the 1st and you were going, if we sell Richarlison and Dom, we can go and buy these players you've scouted, players you know can deliver, players you know will fit in. That's a different thing, because what you're talking about there is flipping that whole squad in one summer by getting these two. I mean, I wouldn't be selling both of them to get all the goals up, but selling them to bring in these 7 that are going to make you a team that challenges towards the top. That's fine. No one would argue with that, but not now. Not August the 4th. It made no sense. So what we have to do is see where we are on September the 1st. And I think we'll be stronger, personally. John Jones says, why aren't we all over the loan market? Definitely. Jeffrey Teal says, what about the loan market? I'm sure Everton will be looking as well. But they want people off. They want people off the wage bill, because our wage bill was way too big. Okay, where are we? Chris Warby says, honestly think that Carlo jumped as soon as he knew he wouldn't have funds, and similar with Nuno. Reckon he Nuno was bombed out, mate, because Everton didn't want him. Carlo went for Real Madrid because it's Real Madrid. Nuno was chased by Everton the same way he was chased by Palace. Spurs chased him, don't forget, and then he went back with his tail between his legs, and because they knew they couldn't get anyone. So Nuno's not a miss. Not on any day of the week is Nuno Santo a miss for Everton. Matt S says, worth signing up to Payton for the extra content like John's financial discussions. Last of the Corinthians says, I'm surprised no one has looked at that docu. Well, he's 40 odd million, I think Ren's won for him. So Mark G says, hit the like, you lazy arses. I mean, straight to the point, Mark. You know. Jay Warwick says, as for Moise Kean, keep him And this Lau, no chance we need a goal scorer and he can't finish a pint. Fair comment. Jack wants to keep Gomez for another season. Fair enough, mate. If you're happy with the midfield, that's fine, but don't expect any other players coming in. People want to keep everyone. It's fine. Let's go with what we've got. Mark T says Gomez is currently our 5th choice centre midfield player. Stephen Lloyd said this FFP is doing my head in. Break the rules. City got a fine, slap on the wrist. But they haven't because they're still in court with the Premier League, aren't they? FFP doesn't really affect us. So, Matt S, fair enough. Trust me, he's Everton's highest paid player by some margin. But if you want to think he's the 7th, that's fine, mate. Or Spot Rack thinks he's the 7th, that's fine. He's by far and above Everton's highest paid player. Lewis says, Baz, I think Everton would be a UCL team if we didn't have to deal with FFP. Difficult to say, but we'd have a chance, wouldn't we, of challenging because we'd be... What you've got to remember is Man City were nowhere, were they? And they got a big pile of money. And the first big pile of money they got, they didn't really do anything with, really. They got a couple of good players out of it, Vincent Kompany, etc. It was only really when Sheikh Mansour come in. And then they started developing. But they were able to spend basically anything. Right? If it was now, Man City wouldn't be anywhere. They'd have to make sure the recruitment was perfect, and it wasn't perfect at the start. So it's easy. It's easy at the moment for them because they create so much money now that they can do it. But we unfortunately got the money after they pull the ladder up, so it's difficult. Wildlife says, breaking news, 100 million record transfer confirmed, Grealish to Manchester City. I had saw he was on his way. He was in a car on his way. But I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere else, but fair enough. But I had seen he was in a car on his way to Manchester for a medical. Who knows? It's going to happen. It's the reason why Villa have bought Bailey. And the reason why they're probably going to buy Dwight McNeil as well, which is good for me. Lee Dyke says, mad that FFP is there to stop clubs going out of business, but also slows or stops clubs being bigger from investment. City would still be in Division 2 if FFP was earlier. Now they're protected by it. Chris Warby says, Villa have been so smart. Knew Grealish was going for 100 million bought in reinforcements, so they'd be flush with cash. It's something we failed to do in the past with players like Lukaku. But see, the Lukaku summer, we did kind of spend that money, didn't we? We just didn't spend it in the right areas. But we brought in a lot of players that summer, if you look back. But how many did we sign? 8 or something? 9? The Lukaku summer. We didn't really sign everything we needed. But Villa have done it the right way. Absolutely, they've done it the right way. The Patreon link is in the comments if you want to join Patreon. K123 says, sell Holgate, please. Mathew Ash says, where are we? Would you take option for Nunes, McNeil and Dumfries and lose James? I don't want McNeil. I've said it loads of times. I know some people really like him. But if you were getting rid of one player to bring in 3 that made the squad stronger, then you'd have to say yeah, wouldn't you? Not yet, Peter, but we probably will. The fair won't be putting the one that was last night. Won't be going on. No. Torsten Sigurdsson says, can we progress without a proper right back one more season? No, we do need a right back. We honestly need a right back. There's no. I can sit here and say we're stronger than we were, or more balanced than we were last year, because I think we were, and we've got a better manager than we had last year, because I think we do have for the squad. Not with world-class players, I'd choose Carlo, but with this squad, I think Benitez is better suited. But we do need a right back. There's really no question about it. So, Chris Burns says, do you think if we lose James, Rafa can improve players we have in the 10 to make up for the assist loss? Tough one, innit, Chris? I guess Amari Gray could be played there. I guess a Wobie could be played there. Say that quietly. But I don't know. I don't know. That's what he's got to, hasn't he? That's what he's got to try to do. Where are we here? Steve P says, Steve P96, I find it quite surprising that no one ever talks about João Pedro from Watford. I would have thought he'd be getting linked to teams, even though he's recently signed a big contract. I really like him. It's because he's only played in the Championship. This year they'll start talking about him. Definitely. Celtic Vape says, Baz, can you honestly say that someone is going to take Gomez, Delph, Holgate, Keane, etc. off us, unless some team has the same recruitment? I don't think so. I didn't say I thought they would. I said, who knows if they would. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So Holgate, I still think, is a good player. He didn't have a great season last season, but I think he for some reason, Evertonians treat him quite harshly. I think he's still a good player. Andre Gomez, Benfica have sniffed around him. Delph, yeah, Delph's a tough one. Moise Kean, well, teams seem to like him. So, hello Nathan. FFP protects the big six is what AIM says. Mark G says we turned Lukaku into 4 number 10s. We're the worst. Yeah, spot on, Mark. We had that. Didn't happen. We blew it. Can we all agree FFP needs scrapping, says T. Cannon? Yes. They could just put a wage cap on clubs and get rid of agents. Yeah. Do we think Iwobi could do a good job at right back? It's tough because I think right wing back, he can have a go there. He done all right there last season. Right back's a little bit more defensive, and I don't think he's strong enough defensively, June, to be honest with you. But he did play right wing back and was okay last season. So who knows? Who knows? The pastime says, wow, Weghorst from Wolfsburg would be a great backup striker. And how much do you want for him? Where are we? John Kinsella says, I'd rather play with 10 on the pitch instead of 11 with Gomez. Fair enough, John. Flemo says, market value is defined by the sponsor, not by the FA Prem. It isn't defined by the sponsor, though. Because if it was, Everton could say, we're having a £100 million sleeve sponsor from USM. But if your top clubs are getting 3 million for that same bit of real estate, it's not allowed. It's only what the market value is. End of story. So that's it. Last of the Corinthians. Now Bailey is gone. Who would you like to see brought in? I'd like the Arby, but Leverkusen aren't letting 3 wingers go, are they? So I don't know. Someone that suits the team, to be honest. Yeah. And Matt S says we can't be talking about a right back after this window. Come on, Brands. No, it would be bordering on negligence if Everton didn't bring a right back in this window. If they can't get Dumfries, and I still think they probably will, but if they can't get Dumfries, then they need to go and get Dalot from United if he's available. Played in the Premier League, if he's available on loan, then yeah. Georgie Redmond says, why do these players have agents like Raiola and Mendes, especially lads who can have their parents as agents? Because those agents get them the best brand deals, the best deals for clubs and stuff. Yeah, he is. He's Raiola is Brands' agent, Mark. So you think him and Marcelo be able to thrash it out? Keith Powell says the PL accounts and restrictions could change this year for implementation next season, as we discussed last night. However, our financial situation is awful, and that became apparent last night too. It changes your frustrations to possibly understanding what we have to do as a club, and by appointing Rafa, he knows the situation and still wanted the job. He will work hard to turn things around too, as everyone has to. Once everyone knows where they stand, then it's better all around, even though the figures are grim, to say the least. Well, they are grim. They are grim. Grant Ferguson says, Baz, as I've said before, we desperately need pace in the squad. And with Bailey gone to Villa. Who else do you think we could go for? The Harvey, keep saying it. Chuck Weezy, but I think he's quite expensive. Anthony at Ajax, not sure how much he command, but he's pacey, good player. Dan James, if you're looking to do the loan thing, and he's not playing for United this season, and he's lightning. His end product ain't great, but he's an outball, isn't he? Well, it gives you that time then to plan, maybe for the RB next summer. Maybe something like that, Grant, might be the way to do it. Maybe the loan market is the way to do it. Artie says, what do you think of Matheus Nunes from Sporting Lisbon? Rumours say if he does come to the Prem, he could be one of the best in the league. I think he's a work in progress. He looks talented. He travels well with the ball, box to box. I think he's a good stature. We'll have to see. Here. Wagga. Oh, Wagaman. Yeah, but Wagaman-Struker's injured, isn't he? He's out for 9 months, so you can't get him. Rodri. See, Real Madrid have got players available for loan in wide areas. Asensio, apparently, and Rodri. So, we'll see. We will see. Right, that is us done for the day. Thank you very much. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. If you want to join Patreon, we do this every day on Patreon Lives. So get over there and join that. It's the cost of a pint a month. So get over there and join us. Otherwise, we will see you for Live at 5 later. Take it easy. Bye.